Alright, so I'm back. I just got back from the Kathy Barnett meet and greet event. It's about 15 minutes away in Huntington Valley, PA, and was the grand opening of their campaign office. Very nice people, very nice place. The campaign is super organized. Everything they have everything put together. They have a graphic design team. They have like all different aspects of running a campaign. It's all nice and put together. And I'm excited. As you can see on my Facebook, I got photos with Kathy Barnett, and again, she's running for the fourth congressional district in the state of Pennsylvania. So she is going to be at Capitol Hill level. So I voted for her. Um, as some of you may know, I just moved to this area in Montgomery County 6 months ago, and with school and everything, I didn't have time to really explore my town. And then plus, it was cold when I moved, and then when I got out of school, the winter term, then comes this coronavirus, and shut everything down. So I couldn't really get out and explore my little town because it's really cute over here. Very nice, very cute, and it's so easy to get around. I can get like 15 things done in an hour, versus when I was in the city, it would take me all day to get 15. No, not 15. To get like 5 things done. So I got to meet and greet a lot of people there. I have more friends. I have added a few friends on Facebook. I'm um, I'm happy to find out that this group that is running this campaign, they are Christian based, so that's a good thing for me. So I felt like I fit right in. And my candidate, Kathy Barnett, she has a wonderful spirit, a very bright, very sweet, very strong spirit, and that's what you need in a political candidate. You need those qualities. Those are like the most important things you must have. You have a sweet spirit, a bright spirit, and you got to be strong above all else. And we shared a few, and she was like, Candace, I'm so happy because they need to see that there are more women that are free thinkers and that are black there, that there are black Republicans out there. And I told her, I said, well, when I first moved to the area, we hugged and had a little moment, and a little emotional moment, and we hugged and everything. And I was telling her, I said, I'm not familiar with Montgomery County politics, but it does seem a lot more organized out here. I said I moved from Philly, and I said me being a conservative, especially a black female, it's really hard to find like-minded people. They expect you to be. I don't know what is it about me. Why people expect me to vote straight Democrat, and I'm thinking, what is it about me? What is it about my physical appearance or whatever? What is it about me that make you think I should vote straight Democrat? When does my gender, when does my race determine my political affiliation? It doesn't, and it never will. What determines my political affiliation is number one, my belief in God and being a Christian. And number two is my mindset. My mindset is more of a conservative. Automatically, if I'm a Christian, I'm going to tend to be more conservative. So that's that. And I was really hurting for a while now because I know we're on this COVID-19 lockdown and a lot of churches aren't open, but I'm going to get a little spiritual here. So as far as the toxicity, as far as like spiritual toxicity, a lot of that has diffused because why? And you're around less people in the church. You're around is less hugging, touching, and kissing, and all this other stuff going on. So the spiritual transfer, leaping from one person to another, has minimized to a great deal. So that's great. And I realized I didn't need I didn't need all those people in my life. I'm not saying I hate them or anything, but I'm saying sometimes you gotta be delivered from people. And not share this quick story, but I remember I had some friends from the church. They befriended me on Facebook, and I thought nothing of it. I had some Trump things on my page. I mean, I even said I was a Republican horde leader on my old page, and I thought nothing of it. And I'm not the one to bring up politics in in at work and at church. It's not the place for it. Unless somebody is violating my rights, depending on, like, say somebody found out I'm Republican and they violate my rights, depending on my party affiliation, then I can speak up and I bring it up at work. But on an everyday basis, I don't just bring it up just so, because everybody's not ready for that. So one day at the church, I had this guy calling me out in front of the whole group of people that voted for Trump. And I'm thinking, like, why are you bringing that up? Like, that's Facebook. I don't go around saying, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Because everybody can't handle it. So that was the first incident. The second incident, what really burned me, and as to why I blocked him, oh no, I didn't. I blocked him because he didn't help me move and he blew me off. That was the final reason, but the second incident I had with him, um, I ran back inside to sign up for a summer event at the church, and he was the first person like at the door. I'm like, hey, where's the picnic stuff? And he said, hey, I need to talk to you, and you need to use discernment and all this, and telling me off. And he was saying, why do you support your police? And I hope you know that all the people that like your post is white. I'm like, and maybe he's like, well, I happen to know that you sound like a mammy, and you sound like a sellout, and those people think you're sticking up for them. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I said, first of all, how in the world are you going to determine by someone's skin color how racist they are? I said, the fact that you think that all white people are racist makes you the racist. And I said, not all cops are bad. And I said, I think me living in North Philadelphia, yes, I don't condone what those cops said back then. I don't, but you really think I'm worried about a tweet they put on Facebook or on Twitter versus them being physically in the street and in patrol cars in my neighborhood? And the crime rate was rocketing last year. I mean, shooting, murder every day in North Philly, just nonstop. The drugs, you know, black on black crime. It's all kind of foolish stuff was going on. And I'm like, are you for real? We need the officers. And when they pulled them off the street, our neighborhood just got so dangerous. It was ridiculous. I was afraid to go outside sometimes. I'm like, what if I get caught in gang crossfire or something? You never know. Because at one time, the crime in North Philadelphia used to be targeted crime. And you didn't really have to worry. So I can say, I know a street not to go down. I know where to go at what time of day. I know some parts of North Philadelphia I would completely avoid. But when they pulled those cops off the street like they did last summer, man, the crime got so bad, it was no safe zone in North Philadelphia anymore. Like where I live, we have people getting shot in broad daylight. Not on our street, but at the corner. Cause I was surrounded by the hood on 3 sides. Yeah, if you're facing, say, southbound, you're facing like basically City Hall. Okay, you're facing City Hall, so you're southbound on 29th Street. You got the hood, like I call like where all the Temple kids are. You got that to my left. In front of me was okay, because that's Fairmont. That was okay. Then you had to the right behind me, you had West Philly. You had Ridge Avenue. That's that section over there. Then behind me would be Strawberry Mansion. I was surrounded by the hood on 3 sides. I mean, crime was coming from out of nowhere. Drugs popping up out of nowhere. The drug bust. I mean, I remember, I don't know, what year was that when we had about like 3 killings in like a week. All because somebody got in some altercation in one of those hoagie stores and they shot and killed the person in broad daylight. Then they kind of found out it was the wrong person they were after. I said, oh my God. And I said, this is why we worried about some tweets online. And so I was just showing you that this guy was worried about me speaking up and speaking out about how putting the cops off the streets negatively affects neighborhoods like the one I was in North Philadelphia. I'm like, because I live in North Philadelphia, I'm more for the cops than anything else. And so it just goes to show you that some people really are uneducated, and instead of them going off of logic and reasoning and having the know-how and the hands-on understanding of what the cops do, they say ignorant things like that young man said about, oh, they're gonna think you a mammy and kissing up to them. I said, first of all, I'm taking a stand for my neighborhood in North Philadelphia. That's what I was doing. Because I don't like to see innocent children get shot and get caught up in crossfire. I don't like to see innocent people trying to mind their business going into a store and they get their head blown off because they walked into when the person was shooting, didn't know what was going on, and they died from it. So I'm like, are you for real? And people, so people say very uneducated things and it's very, just very ignorant. And so that was the second incident. I told you the first incident. He called me out about the whole, in front of everybody, about me being a Trump supporter. Second thing, he got mad at me about what I posted on Facebook, and then when get mad at me a week later about the police thing. I'm like, dude, if you have something to say it to my page or whatever right then and there. But don't wait a week later until we talk face to face. That's childish and that's ignorant and that's very cowardly. Because if you have something to say to me on that page when I posted what I posted, then say it then and there. But don't wait until a week after, when social media has a fleeting nature where you post, you move on. You post, you move on. It's a fleeting thing. It's like a fleeting thought. You move on. And you're going to tell me, when you're on my page and you couldn't tell me that right then and there, don't be petty. Man, bye. So, but all three of those incidents combined, call me out as a Trump supporter in front of like the whole church, which is really ignorant. Number two, the whole Miami incident with the police and saying that all those people were white on their page. And when I post a thought, I make my statement and I move on. I don't go back to look to see, oh, look at all those white people. I don't go by race. I go by, oh, I got 100 likes on that page or 100 likes on that post. I look at how many likes. I don't look at the race of people. So anyway, and then the third one was when I needed to move earlier this year. And it ended up being him again, this guy, because I guess he's part of like the moving crew. I don't know. And he basically dismissed me and blew me off. So I was done with that. And this goes to show you that in a lot of churches, they have such a, not all churches, but I'll put it this way, a lot of individuals within these churches have an underlying hatred for Republicans or Donald Trump. And I'm thinking, what have you guys not been taught, or what were you indoctrinated into thinking? Because I guess I'm the only one in this area. I don't know. Maybe because my school system down south, it was run by Christian conservatives, so we were taught things about Juneteenth, and we were taught things about how the Republican Party was all black. We were taught things about how the white Democrats and how they tried to stop the blacks and the Republicans from voting Republican. And they tell us all the horrible things that Democrats did. So this is why, because of my education and because of my upbringing, I've always been conservative, and now I vote Republican. And so you have a lot of these churches or the demographics where a lot of these people vote straight Democrat. And I, for the life of me, don't understand that. Even the God of the Bible speaks out against same-sex marriages and abortions. Just those two things right there is enough for me not to even look at the Democratic platform. I didn't even know that abortions was a part of that platform until like 2 years after Trump got in. Not 2 years. After a year Trump got in, and I went back and read the actual platform. I was like, when did y'all add abortions to your platform? I didn't know that. And so, like I said, it's just a mess sometimes dealing with people. And I would think, I thought I would get more like hatred from the streets or whatever, but you get more underlying hate in some of these from other Christians. And I'm thinking, really? Really? So, again, it's difficult to find like-minded people, and I'm glad I did. And I didn't tell the lady all this, Kathy Barnett. I didn't tell her all this, but I'll just give her a brief description. Before this video, I want to explain to you that it is not easy being a black woman that's a Republican because everybody expects you to vote a certain way. And I'm thinking, and one thing that gets me, you don't want to have all straight Republican either because that can be bad too. Because and then you start getting these rhinos in, and then you can't get them out. Because yes, I'll on the Republican side, but guess what? We got some rhinos and stuff that need to get out. We got these old establishment Republicans that need to move out and get out. You know, this is no longer the party of a great grandfather and everything. It's time for a new generation to take stand and take hold of this Republican Party. It's enough. But anyhow, back to what I was saying about what meeting with Kathy Barnett. So with her being a black female, me being a black female, both being Republican, we understand that pain. You know, online on Twitter, I had white liberals on me calling me all kind of derogatory names. Oh, you're a coon. Oh, you a house nigga. All this dumb stuff, and all I'm saying, I mean, it said all kind of derogatory things that I wouldn't even. I mean, this thing that don't deserve to come out of the backside. They were saying. And I have to do a lot of blocking, block. I've gotten attacked by Satanists online. I have to block them. I got attacked by witches online. I block them. I got attacked by leftists, liberals. I block them. Socialists. I block them. If I got all the little obvious demons out, and then here come the church people on my page. Well, you got to remember you're still black in America. I'm like, first of all, the first thing I wake up every morning, I say, thank you, Lord Jesus, for waking me up this morning. What I need to remember every day is that I'm a child of God and I'm saved by His grace and mercy. That's what I remember every day. This whole I'm black in America, that doesn't mean that will never outweigh the fact that I'm a child of God. That will never outweigh that I am God's. I am His. So please, I don't need any church person telling me, anybody in particular telling me that remember that I'm black in America. Because first of all, you need to remember, if half of you remember that you're a child of God, you wouldn't have to worry about being black in America because God you serve will take care of you and exalt you above the same people that try to keep you down or you think that's keeping you down. You know, I don't need to hear that. Anybody that tells me that, they get blocked. You need to remember that you're black in America. First of all, you need to remember I'm a child of God. That's first of all. So don't come to me with that. I know that I'm black because I can see myself in the mirror that I'm black. I don't need you to remind me. And America doesn't remind me that I'm black. You know what reminds me that I'm black? It's other black people that don't like what I'm doing. Then they come up and say, well, just remember, you're black in America. Like what? My skin color's going to hold me back because I'm in America? And you have black immigrants that come over to the United States with their full citizenship, and people from Nigeria, parts of the African continent. You have people from all over the world that's black that come to America and surpass the blacks that are here. Why? Because they don't follow that BS. They don't go around saying, well, I'm black in America. You know what? They say I'm an American, and they get their butts to work, and that's why they exceed and beat blacks that are here because they don't have their mind caught up on that. You got people coming in from Haiti and Jamaica, and people coming from Dominican Republic, coming from South America, Brazil, all these other places around the world. Black people coming from all these places from around the world and come over to the United States and beat us, pound us in the dirt because why? Me over here, I'm black in America. I'm black in America. I'm black. And so, who cares? And so, that's why I had to cut off a lot of people. And so I shared that with her. We had a little moment, because we understand that it's hard. I mean, You got to hear it from all sides and everything. And quickly, I'm gonna say this, but people like to say things like, "Oh, there's no racism in America." Okay, first of all, there is racism. Now, I disagree with this institutionalized, systematic racism. I know in certain areas in the United States, it's probably more racist than others. Like, I noticed there's a lot of racism in these one party cities, and specifically Democratic run cities. Like, for example, I'm going to be honest, Philadelphia is one of the most racist places I've ever lived in my life in the United States. And I'm coming from the South where things are together and people are more diverse. You got more walks of life. You got whites and blacks and Hispanics, Asians all working together down south. And come up north in Philadelphia, the city, everything's segregated by race. And I'm thinking, what? And to me, that's a culture shock because I'm used to seeing whites and blacks and Asians and Hispanics all in one area. I'm not used to seeing just one race in one area. And so that was a culture shock. And so I do believe, yes, there's racist events, racist places, racist people, and racist things, but I don't think America as a whole is racist. But yes, racism does exist. And let me tell you, buddy, when people know that you're a black conservative, oh baby, do the racists come out. You got them in the church, you got some in your workplace, you got some in your classroom, you got some transportation. I mean, they're there. Don't be surprised because oh baby, they're there. But this is where the thick skin got to come in. But you gotta just shake the dirt off, pat it on your feet, and get shake that dust off your shoulder and keep it moving. It's like the donkey in the well. They kept throwing dirt on top of the donkey in the Bible, and the donkey would just shake the dirt off and pat it on his feet. And eventually it got to the top, and the dirt was high enough for the donkey to climb out of the well. It's the same thing. So, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and tolerate that kind of disrespect. I had to, and then the thing is, you have some conservatives coming at me for stuff. I said, y'all lost your mind. Don't come at me with that stuff. I had to block two conservatives the other day because they want to come on my page and start some stuff. And I'm like, not today. So the hate is real. I think attacking me from the Christian standpoint. They're attacking me from the from keeping it real. And so I'm like, I don't need the whole, I don't need that foolishness. Like, I'm for the president, I'm for Donald Trump, and that's the bottom line. I'm not gonna sit here and try to discredit the will of God. I'm not gonna sit here and do that. Because there is no one perfect. We all fall short of God's glory. And that's the bottom line. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. But again, I say I had a great time meeting Kathy Barnett and her staff. Their campaign is well put together. They market themselves well. That's how I found them online. And I look forward to working with them. And I'm very happy to find like-minded people. And it's not easy. Especially when you're out there by yourself, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So that being done and said, I'm going to end this. Have a good night. Thank you for watching, and be blessed.